Yeah, well, here's a couple of princes in waiting, aren't they? They're after the kingdom. Brewer looks at the inside of Bettino. A beautiful move for Ads Brewer. Wow, the AVI technology car slips up the inside of the Sidelink car, and that is a ripper. Gets it done, but he's not done here. The 44 looks to the inside. There's going to be another change, or there's going to be paint swaps. Either way around. The slide through the 3 gathers it all back up. The 44 gathers it all up.
Bathurst 6 there, you can see him diving under King Richard. Richard Howe, literally, as Darren Smith mentioned not long ago, will shut the door on you every time.
Mark Torbis can finally breathe again.
Hey.
Gets to the line, and that's a victory, and a sweet, sweet victory indeed it is for 13. Here it is. Yeah. Oversteer.
Wow, okay. A new car, and he's at high speed there as he's gone through and gone right off wide.
Been with him. There we have Cambella.
Oh, wow. Now,
and
no!
Torbs goes around.
He's gone. He's gone.
So excited. To see how Jamie Westaway can charge away here. This is a stacked field, you'd have to say, Jack, and getting away absolutely smartly with Mark Torbis. And he looks like to lead the field. No, yes, maybe. No, it's not going to be.
Very tight.
Very, very tight through turns 1. Cambella goes out over the back of there. There's Dick Howe, the experienced campaigner. In fact, we're just talking about it off air as you start to come through the field and gather your pace in 944s. You've always got to come across the brick wall of Dickie Howe, don't you, and work out how to get past the wily veteran of Victorian motorsport.
King Richard, absolutely. Richard Howe in the number 8 MPC-sponsored car there. So, yeah, he's a very experienced campaigner, very experienced driver, and he knows this track very, very well. Getting back to the front of the field here, there's the bright green car of Cambella already coming under some pressure from the 4-time champion, Chris Lewis-Williams, or as we call him, the Baron of Benalla. So he's a local guy, knows the track very, very well, and takes that position over Cambella.
Bella slows dramatically.
That's a real shame for the 4-time champion. He's definitely going slow out the back of the circuit there, the number 55.
That is a moment for the championship right there. He's got it going. No, has he? No, he hasn't. He's looking all sorts of at sea there. That is a championship moment right there, Jack Atley. That changes things dramatically, doesn't it, already?
That is an absolutely massive moment for the championship, potentially. Unfortunately, you know, it's such close racing that if you are to DNF or not finish a race, it can really affect your championship. And Cambella, as we all know, is a 4-time champion, so he's one of the front runners in this category. And it looks like he's already had some issues. Maybe the heat's come into it because it is a pretty warm day here today, but we'll find out what's happened there with Cambella.
Interestingly enough, he's already behind the 8-ball because Jamie Westaway took the 100 points from round 1. Chris Lewis-Williams took 84 and he only took 78. He's only going to disappear out the back door if he doesn't get this race or this weekend rescued for the rest of the year. Mark Torbis, though, how good's this? Fantastic to see the 66, the Pipecraft car. Not his car, it's a loaner, a renter. Renters go faster though, don't they?
They do indeed. And a big shout out to Tim Wolfe, who's over in Western Australia, who normally campaigns that Pipecraft car there, but El Presidente, Mark Torbis, really having a great run. He got second in qualifying this morning, so he's had a good run. And there is the stricken car of Cambella, and I can tell you, some of the Bella staff, they're already working on the underside rear of that car. Now, one quick fact, by the way, about Cameron Bella, he has not been beaten at this circuit since 2019. So
That's some record, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's a real shame to see Cam Bella pulling off at this early
Testament to the
stage.
man too, the way he goes about it. Really is a great bloke and a very, very strong racer. So Westaway is leading the way, champion as well. So what a field this year, Jack. We've got 3 ex-champions vying for the championship. We've got I'm going to say it, I've been saying it for a while, I'll probably have to ease off on the guy. Adam Brewer, a champion in the rise.
Absolutely.
Car number 3. I've been accused of barracking for him during the commentary. Yeah, okay, I do. I'll put my hand up. Yeah, I think he deserves a break. He does a terrific job, although he's been holidaying a fair bit in recent times as well. Getting his head right. That's what it's about.
That's what he's doing. He's settling the nerves. No, you're right. Adam Brewer, very accomplished race car driver, and he's really, really pushing on the door for a championship, campaign, really. But he's up against, as you mentioned there, Daz, some pretty tough characters. You've got Jamie Westaway, who's leading this race in the gold car, came out and has won championships before. El Presidente, Mark Torbett, sitting right behind him in the yellow Pipecraft car. But look at this, you've got the 4-time champion, Chris Lewis-Williams, and there's the number 3 of Adam Brewer, the Black Widow Spider, as we call him, just sitting right on the bumper there of Chris Lewis-Williams. And Mark Verdino is also creeping up to the top 4 or 5 guys. Mark Verdino is a race winner in this category. Had an incident at Sandown at round 1 where he clipped the wall, and that really did some damage to his, his championship season. As I said, it's such close racing that if you have a DNF, you can drop behind the points, but there's no give and no take in this category.
So here we look at Chris Lewis-Williams in the Tyre Power Benalla car being pursued by Ads Brewer. And he wants to get through here, but there's no way the number 37 is going to capitulate here. The new livery, the championship celebration livery there on Chris's car, looks at $1 million on track. There's the Don Watson transport car of Lyndon Watson just in the background there. We'll get a good look at that car this time round. Cross the line, he goes there. And they all start to flow through there. There's another Westaway in the mix here. Interesting thing is that at the moment, Mark Torbert's is the fastest car on track. Oh, Cambella's back out now, the 55, so he's circulating. This is 4P3, 4 and 5 on the road. It's Torbert's just up in front in that yellow car we're just getting a look at. Fastest car on track, and I've got to say, Mark's been doing this for some time. I'm not sure he's ever had the fastest lap of a race on his stat sheet.
Exactly right. He's really doing fantastically well this weekend. He's getting used to that car as Ads Brewer really tries to have a nudge under the Baron of Benalla, Chris Lewis-Williams there.
There's a sticker on the side of Ads Brewer's car. I think he needs to adhere to the advice that says never lift.
That is his motto, without a doubt.
Never lift.
If you walk around the pits, he's always saying, right, I'm never going to lift. Well, he's not lifting at the moment. And that is definitely the Black Widow Spider's motto there about never lifting. Getting back to Mark Torbert's, a fantastic run. Building up a car at the moment, so we expect a new car coming out of the Torbett stable pretty quickly, probably in the next round, perhaps the one after that as well. But as we said, at the moment, he's campaigning a car which was formerly run by Tim Wolfe, who is currently running in the Michelin Sprint Challenge in the GT3 Cup car, the West Australian driver. So he'll be happy that his car is running right up the front, and in fact, it's running right with Jamie Westaway, who is a multiple champion. And certainly knows this track very, very well, and coming off 3 wins from round 1 over Sandown. So there's Cam Bella. Great to see Cam out again circulating. He's literally just trying to bank some points because he doesn't want to let these top guys, Lewis-Williams, Brewer, Verdino, he does not want to let these guys get away in the championship. He knows he's got to bank the points.
Really good to see at the moment that Mark Torbert's is going right with Jamie Westaway in this one. This is the group just inside the top 10. Richard Howe leading this bunch. Manny Menazelma, then Josh Brisbane there. Really, really nice turned out cars there. That one of Manny Menazelma, that livery, they really present that car beautifully. And the lime green car there, the 56 of Josh Brisbane, always look fantastic. There's the interval that we're seeing between these two out there at the moment.
Yeah, it's very, very tight racing, and Manny, of course, is really using this as a warm-up, I guess you would say, for the Bathurst 6 hour. You can see him diving under King Richard Howe, literally, as Darren Smith mentioned not long ago, will shut the door on you every time. Do not get around the wall. That is King Richard.
That's exactly right. He's just happy to give a lesson to anyone that wants to learn something, that's for sure, is
yes, he does.
Richard Howe. Been around a long time. Was a big-time racer on the Thunderdome in Oscar. Had a long career at the Thunderdome. That place shut. He found another happy home to go racing in flat track, and has been around with the Porsche 944s. I'm going to say right up until when Dennis O'Keefe signed off on running the championship all those years ago.
Yeah, he is amazing, Richard Howe. You've got to say he's been around the game a long, long time, and still running great pace and still running up the front, and it's awesome to see him doing so very, very well. Just quickly getting back to the front guys as well. I will quickly mention, though, just finishing off, and we're looking at Adam Brewer there, the number 3 on screen. Now, he is going to be sharing a car with Manny Mesoselma and Cam Balla at the Bathurst 6 Hour coming up in a couple of weeks. So you'll find that with a few of the guys. In fact, Jamie Westaway, Mark Torbitz and Andrew Jackman, who we are missing this weekend, unfortunately. But, of course, Jackman and Carter Fox and the guys are over in Adelaide at the moment. We've got Keith over there, Keith Mariner's over there as well. So there's 3 of the guys over representing the category in the Adelaide Motorsport Festival, and we thank those guys and send a big shout out to them for representing the brand. They're usually running here. But yeah, you'll find a combination of these drivers really, getting the experience, getting a really good hit out before attacking the mountain in a couple of weeks' time.
Certainly good to get a run here at any given time. Really accessible track there. Again, Michael Westaway there now as he swoops around the S's. Car number 50, and continues on. Sorry, that's Tony Westaway, isn't it? Tony Westaway in the number 50.
Tony Westaway, that's correct. Yeah, Jamie's father there running around in the number 50, the black, yellow and white car, which is very synonymous with the Westaway family. They've run that for years. Just in a quick replay of getting some action here. So you'll see there that Westaway has just snuck under Andrew Goldman, who, again, we welcome to the category. Great move under brakes, but a pretty standard manoeuvre here at Winton. You'll find the cars will get some great speed as they come up over the crest. They'll come over the rise there. We're looking at Lyndon Watson there and Westaway as they come up over the rise, hard on the brakes, but you can duck underneath the car in front of you as you throw it back into turn 3 here at Winton. So
Lyndon Watson started out of 8th up to 6th now in the Don Watson Transport Porsche. Doing a nice job there, representing well. Returning to the category after a couple of seasons off, Manny Mesoselma. Ooh, he almost tripped himself up there, didn't he, under brakes? Had a late turn in. Richard Howe just up the road a little bit there. And this is this gap again that we're looking at between Manny and Josh Brisbane. Oh, the 56 slowing.
Oh, yeah.
And he heads off the pit, off the track as well. Not into the pits, but into a pit.
Yeah.
Off the edge of the track there.
Again, a massive shame for Joshy Brisbane here, returning to the category after missing the Sandown event. Beautifully turned out car. As I've said before, if you ever get a chance to have a good look at that car, it is one of the best looking cars on the grid. Normally, unfortunately, he's had an issue. It is a fairly warm day here today at Winton, so maybe temps are starting to rise on all these cars. And also, it's a long race, so you've got to be aware of your tyre factor normally at the best of times, let alone a 25-minute race. So
let's have a look at these gaps now. Jamie Westaway, 0.7 a second back to Mark Torbitz, 3.6 seconds back to Chris Lewis-Williams. Chris Lewis-Williams has not got a stranglehold on P3 by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, the Tyre Power Benalla car has got Ads Brewer all over the back of him, 0.3 of a second behind. In fact, it's almost immeasurable now, isn't it? It's about 3 metres. And at whatever kilometres an hour, that's under 3 seconds, that's for sure. So Lewis Williams is slowly watching Ads Brewer just get better and better and better at this, and really applying the pressure, because at the moment Lewis Williams is not closing the gap back to Mark Torbitz in position number 3. In fact, if anyone's closing a gap, it's Torbitz on Jamie Westaway at this moment. There it is, Lewis Williams to Brewer, 0.35 of a second. That's what we're watching there. The 37 and the 3. The reigning champion has chosen not to run the number 1 on his car, sticking with his number 37, which is often the way with people when they have a favourite number. But Ads Brewer he's just on the edge, isn't he? It's like it's on a bubble. He's poised on a bubble. You don't want it to burst, but you want to ride it to the very end.
He is right on the edge, and he's right on the edge of the bumper there of the Baron of Benalla, Chris Lewis-Williams there, the number 37 tyre power car. Yeah, Asbrewer has got the skill, he's got the pace, he's a race winner in this category. He's very much a front-running guy and a very much a front-running car, and as I said, he's getting ready for the Bathurst 6 Hour coming up very shortly, so he is no slouch, and you can see his results are very, very consistent a lot of the time. He's just probably, one slight step away from really taking a good hold on a championship, and we're very much keen to see him grab a championship. But again, as we mentioned, the top 3 or 4 guys, you've got a Cam Bella who's got 4 titles. Chris Lewis-Williams, who we're looking at here at the moment, has got 4 titles, and a quick side note on that, no one has ever done 5 titles. But you've also got Jamie Westaway, who's a multiple champion as well, running in the category. So it is not easy, and it's a one-make category, which means it's very hard. You can't just throw aero at these cars or a lot of power to sort of drive around other guys. You've actually got to...
drive it.
You've got to drive it.
Drive the wheels off it, set it up properly, get your tyre pressures, get your spring rates, get your damper settings exactly where they need to be. This is enthralling stuff between these two. It really is an enthralling race, and they're just starting to claw back on Mark Torberts as well. In fact, they have, because Mark Torberts has done a 1:38.1 the last lap around, and everyone else is running, well, our race leader was running at a 1:36.72, so he's lost 1.8 seconds on that last lap to the leader.
Nearly 2 seconds there, and he did a 36.5. He's currently holding the fastest lap of the race, El Presidente Mark Torberts, but dare I say, Daz, I reckon the tyres are just starting to cry enough, pretty much. It's a hot, hot day. You're doing a lot of work at Winton, as the famous Dick Johnson used to always say. It's like running a marathon around your clothesline. That's around right, here. Yes. You are always busy, and those tyres...
And that was prior to the track extension. That certainly was a short lap.
For sure.
I did a 24-hour race, a number of them actually here on that short track.
Wow. That's a lot of work.
After about an hour and a half, you close your eyes and the car just takes you around the groove in the track.
It's a lot of work. As I said, though, it's a busy track. It's not
very busy.
Not a fast-flowing circuit. You're really always turning left, right. You're hard on brakes. You're just trying to gain an advantage anywhere you can as you crest over this rise here. And again, we can see there the Lyndon Watson car just edging ahead of Westaway, but that's another intense battle. You're going to get fights all the way throughout this category. It's like this every time we go out and hit the track, but let alone on a tight and twisty circuit like Winton, you're going to get fighting all the way throughout the afternoon.
Good racing here, as always, with the Porsche 944s. A big thanks to Porsche Cars Australia. As you can see, the sticker emblazoned across the windscreen of all the cars. Don Watson Transport jumping on board as the round sponsor here this weekend, and we hope to have a lot more involvement with Don Watson Transport. EJM Advice, that's Manny Menazama. Camponi Electric, Stratton Finance out of Hobart. Stratton Finance Hobart. 1-800 Lasagna. Joey Kellogg not here this weekend. Butcher's Diner, AVI Technology, which is down the side of Ad's car. LK Diesel Service, who sponsored round 1. 888 Home Loans, the series sponsor, also involved with the Porsches. And Pit Lane Clothing, the world's fastest fashion brand, and anyone in the pits who looks good, looks even better in a Pit Lane Clothing outfit.
Exactly. Jump on a pitlaneclothing.com. Getting back to the racing. Indeed, there's plenty of going on track, and a very big shout out, if I may say, to Nick Carpenter, who's having a fantastic run on his opening race. Nick's come into the category literally just today, so he's running 12th at the moment. That's a pretty good effort, you've got to say. So he's really just keeping things all together, and that's one of the keys with this category as well, and with racing as well. Build your momentum up. Don't go out and try and throw it into a wall on lap 1 or do anything crazy and set lap records or anything. You've really got to learn your craft, and a lot of these guys are very experienced drivers and very experienced campaigners, so you can learn a lot by just really settling in. And looks like we've had a spin there, Daz, out the back of the circuit. Around the Gumtree, that's the Westaway car.
That's our race leader.
That's Jamie. Oh,
Jamie
wow.
Westaway.
Wow, that's Jamie Westaway. That's the champion, Jamie Westaway, and he is getting out of the car. Now, I'm not sure what's happened there, but that is out the back of the circuit by the looks of it, under the Gumtree.
It's actually at the old water tank, so out of the sweeper, turn right, and then around there, he runs back over to the flag point.
Wow, that's a
Doesn't that throw it wide open now? Mark Torbets.
5-second lead, exactly. Guess who's in front of the race? It's El Presidente. Mark Torbets.
Wow, he is going to feel the weight of expectation now as this gap is slowly being pegged back as Lewis Williams and Ads Brewer start to work together a little bit in the last couple of laps.
Right, here we go, because Mark Torbets has never won a race. In all the years he's been racing in Porsche 944 championships, he's never won a race. Well, Mr. Torbets and El Presidente, here is your chance, but you've got a 4-time champion right on your bumper, and you've got the Black Widow Spider, number 3, who's catching him as well, and dare I say it, as West Australia has just erupted.
It certainly has. Have a look at this. Mark Torbets is absolutely driving the wheels off this car, and he has got to give us some fantastic. He has got to get his eyes up, because these two behind him are going faster each lap.
They sure are.
And closing in on Mark Torbets in the number 37 Pipecraft entry. Sadly, that charge, that great run that Jamie Westaway has come to an end. He has pulled over and got out of the car. That's the latest news from the Don Watson Transport and Cold Stores, round number 2 of the 944 Challenge. And at the moment, Mark Torbets poised for a victory.
Wow. Can he do it? He's really coming under pressure there from a guy who knows how to win a race and knows how to win a championship. And that's Chris Lewis Williams, the Baron of Benalla, the number 37. And you can see the black car there of Adam Brewer there hunting him down. He's probably got a lap or 2 to go, and he would be looking in his mirrors and left and right, because he has never won a race.
This is when you hear the rattle, you smell the gear oil, you smell the coolant. You hear everything. The tyre, all of a sudden, he's gone mushy on the left front.
I'm absolutely got fingers, toes, and anti-sway bars all crossed up at the moment for Mark Torbets, because I know that he just puts so much effort into this category. He has just been a long-time campaigner in the category. He puts so much effort in. This would just make his year if he could jag a win here. And we've understood that there is 2 laps to go.
Yeah, race controller just confirmed 2 to go. Well, it's sort of 1 3/4 now, isn't it?
Oh.
Yeah, so the Don Watson Transport and Cold Stores first race for the weekend in the Porsche 944s has come alive. Sadly, because Cam Bella and Jamie Westaway, arguably 2 of the best drivers this category has ever seen, have fallen by the wayside.
Absolutely.
I say sadly because I love watching these guys go at it. But if you had to replace it with another race winner, I reckon the guy in the yellow car is the one that you'd point at, deservedly so leading. Hasn't won it. I think we've cracked the champagne, haven't we, Jake?
We've got it on ice.
We should have just kept the hat on it. Let's keep the lid on it. Let's get back to this battle for second.
We've got it on ice. We've got everything crossed up here in the comms box. Absolutely, as I said, he has been around the game for a number of years. This would just be a fantastic result for Mark Torbets if he can take this victory. He's driving the car, usually campaigned, as we said, by Tim Wolfe over in WA, but he's trying desperately to hold off the 4-time champion there in Chris Lewis Williams. And as you say, Daz, it's definitely opened the door. If you're missing a Jamie Westaway and you're missing a Cameron Bella, suddenly someone else can rise to the top of the tree.
The interesting thing I find here is that so many years he's raced around in a menacing Matt Black.
Yep.
He's a guitarist in a heavy metal band.
Real heavy.
And he's driving a bright yellow car.
It's a real heavy band, and I can tell you I've seen that band, and it takes you about 3 or 4 days to recover after seeing the band.
So it is interesting that he's chosen all those years to run that Matt Black heavy metal look, and he's leading a race in the bright yellow, I'm going to say, hip-hop car.
Oh, exactly. You know, it's almost like bordering on a flowery petal kind of yellow, isn't it, or something? I mean, it's a real change from usually the heavy metal black that we're used to seeing Mark Torbets in, but I've got everything crossed. I can't believe it. I'm finally going to hopefully see a win by a guy who is president of the 944 Association. He puts hours and hours and hours behind the scenes into this category. He is much deserving of a race victory, and it's fantastic to see the yellow Pipecraft car glistening in the Winton sunshine as he comes up to the final corner. He's got one corner to go, and he's going to hold off Chris Lewis-Williams and Adam Brewer. And it is just almost emotional, actually, to see Mark Torbes.
He gets out on the ripple strips there, and Lewis-Williams is going to have this gap back under 1 second. There's the checkered flag. Mark Torbes can finally breathe again.
Hey.
Gets to the line, and that's a victory, and a sweet, sweet victory indeed it is for the driver of car number 66, Mark Torbes. And I'm going to say the guy, Dickie Howe's gone off celebrating. He's like, Torbes has won a race. How good's that?
Can't believe it.
I reckon CLW has just driven up beside him and he has given him the thumbs up.
Yep. No, I think the whole category will be shedding a tear and having a beer tonight, because that's fantastic to see Mark Torbes come across the line there. El Presidente, as we call him, to see the victory. Have a look at this for some final action here, Daz. Going round out the back of Winton there. Almost 3 or 4 wide there. Oh, and it looks like Goldman has got into the side there of Manny Mezzaselma. That's a real shame for those two guys. The number 10 of Manny Mezzaselma coming off second best there.
They almost tripped over each other then.
Yeah,
didn't they? That's a shame. Andrew Goldman
just a last-minute lunge,
giving Manny Mezzaselma a bit of a nudge there. The number 14 comes through there though, so getting a couple of places just on the line.
Nick Carpenter, fantastic to see Nick coming across the line in the ex-Peter Doherty car there in the red car. So that's a really, really great race and a great result there for Nick Carpenter. So welcome to the category for Nick. Got a home by the looks of it, just ahead of Andy Goldman. What a race.
There it is, Mark Torbes gets the win, Jack. How good's that?
Fantastic to see Mark Torbes finally take a race win. El Presidente, as we call Mark Torbes. Great to see him home first. Ahead of the Baron of Benalla, Chris Lewis-Williams. The Black Widow Spider, Adam Brewer, completes the podium. Mark Verdino banks some points, which he'll be happy with after his Sandown result. Lyndon Watson, great to see Lyndon home in 5th. Michael Westaway, Tony Westaway, brothers in arms, 6 and 7. King Richard Howe, managed to get home there in 8th place, as is his race number 8. Nick Carpenter, a fantastic result for a top 10, coming home in 9th there as well. I think he got home just ahead of Andy Goldman. Johnny Vanoris, Manny Mezzaselma ran into some issues towards the end of the race. And unfortunately, we had some guys that dropped off. Cam Bella, big names too. Cam Bella, Jamie Westaway, Josh Brisbane and Jimmy Mitchell, unfortunately failing to get across the line.
Down here with Lyndon Watson in the pit lane at Winton. Lyndon, first time here in 5 years, and last time you were here, you had some pretty good results. Happy hunting ground for you?
True. I really liked the track last time I was here. I seemed to get a couple of laps together cleanly. And then I'd hate to say that it's through misfortune of others, but we can only race the people that are on the track. And I came away with a win. That was my first one, and I really enjoyed it. And I think Winton, it's a very technical track, and I'm slowly getting back into it again, but I'm enjoying it.
You've had to spend a little bit of time underneath the car, unfortunately, after qualifying before the first race. What's been going on?
Well, I happened to forget there's a couple of curves here you can't drop over because it's been 5 years, and I managed to put a hole in the exhaust on the first practice. But fortunately, the Porsche Club, they're awesome. I've been able to lean on a couple of other competitors and found a welder, and we just managed to get it welded all up for the first race. So qualified mid-pack, but I was happy, and we'll see how we go.
So aside from unfortunately punching a hole in your exhaust, how's the car feeling around here this weekend?
Yeah, it's not too bad. I was fortunate to get to an earlier race this season, and even Hendrick Calder last year. There's a couple of really good tracks, and I'm enjoying it, and the car's doing really well. And honestly, it does pretty well. Through COVID, I'd spent a bit of time up on chocks, but they're pretty easy to dust the cobwebs off and get them back out in the track. And
it's brilliant to see the family business sponsoring the 944 Challenge as a whole this weekend as well.
Yeah, honestly, I just really want to do something for the club, and there's a lot of other participants out there that are really putting a lot of time and effort in, whether it's their time organising things for the clubs or also financially supporting the club. But I think that it's a bit of a mark for how solid of a club the 944s are, and just trying to do my part.
So it'll be Ads Brewer to Mark Verdino, Lyndon Watson, Michael Westaway, Tony Westaway, Nick Carpenter, Goldman, Howe, Norris, Bella, Manny Minnesota, Westaway, Brisbane and James Mitchell. They head down into turn 1. So it's going to be the green car and the gold car from the back of the field here. Here comes Lyndon Watson, gets Dickie Howe. Big tick. Got to get rid of the Dickie Howe out the back window there. So car number 55, that's Cambella charging on through. So he's made his way up to be right in there as well. So the 55, we've got the camera on board with the number 55 Bella as opposed to Lyndon Watson. Sadly, I made that mistake at the start. We'll gather it all up. There's the 55 and the 9 of Don Watson Transport close together. So the camera car is car number 55. 4 times champion, starting of rear of grid, is already up to about 7th or something.
Sensational performance by a guy that has won 4 titles in the bright green aqua car there, Cameron Bella. A multiple champion and knows this track very, very well. In fact, has not been beaten before yesterday since 2019. So he's already charged up the field. And there's another fascinating story yesterday from Cam Bella in the green aqua car. Just on lap 1 there, he had gearbox issues, so he pulled into the pits. The team looked at the car. They managed to get him 4th gear, and he completed the race in 4th gear alone and came home, I believe, in 12th position. So a remarkable performance. The guy knows how to drive, so he banked the points, and that was the real key because Jamie Westaway had an off, didn't get the points. But you can see Cambella now with all 5 gears rearing to go in that gearbox, how much he is charging through the field.
Here's something that the people watching on at home and indeed trackside here, Jack, there is quite a mix, because the 944 was an internationally sold car, there's quite a mix of left and right hand drive cars, isn't there?
Absolutely, yes indeed. And it's a balanced thing. When they came out of the factory in Germany, these 944 cars, as we see El Presidente leading the field. Coming up over the rise here at Winton, he's got Chris Lewis-Williams, Adam Brewer tucked in right behind, and the 44 there in the sidling car of Mark Verdino. But yeah, they're beautifully balanced cars. They handle well. This is where they come into their own on a track like this, Winton, which is tight and twisty. These cars go around corners very, very well. And the left and right hand drive aspect that you mentioned there, Daz, different cars will have different left or right hand drive combinations. They're pretty much balanced either way because they will weight them up with lead in different factors. But as they come out of the factory, they were designed as a left-hand drive car. Of course, they come out of Germany, come out of European roads, but they're beautifully balanced left to right, front and rear, and I can ascertain that they certainly go around corners very well.
Well, at the moment, those 4 cars there, the leader in car position 4 is a right-hand drive, and the positions 2 and 3 on the road are left-hand drive. So, you know, throw the blanket over them. Verdino looks down the inside of Brewer. Makes it stick. Wow, he threw that one in there for a while. In the fact that Brewer went off the track to celebrate, comes back on with a wobble in front of 55 of Bella. So that could have got interesting with the 4 times champ and the future champ to be in car number 3.
Sensational.
No pressure, ads. No pressure.
Sensational driving there by the Vendetta, Mark Verdino, the number 44. He's a race winner from last year, and he's looking to bank the points. He had a bit of an off when he clouted a wall at Sandown on round 1, but he's looking to bank the points for this round already, as we see there, Daz, the bright green car, the very familiar picture of Cameron Bella scything his way through the pack already.
Geez, I tell you what, Bella just took it up to Ads Brewer there. Here we go. This is a replay that is Ads Brewer going off, coming in front of Bella. Bella went for the brakes there, and he's had to grab the gearbox next gear up a little bit late there, so lost a bit of time, but ultimately Bella pushed his way through here. This is a good bit of the pack here now, so we're back with Goldman, and this is Josh Brisbane in the 56 car trying to come through here yesterday. This was a very strong part of the field yesterday, and just hearing, yes, there it is, car 8, 15-second penalty, crossed the blend line at pit exit on their way out onto the track. They are very hard on that here at Winton.
They are absolutely brutal on that.
Yeah, they are, and it's in the notes and it's in the driver's briefing, so please, guys, try not to do it. It's a safety thing, but he'll know all about it. So the 55 will get that penalty. Was it 55?
It might have been 8. Was it 8? Richard Howe, I believe, got the penalty.
Sorry.
Which is good news for Cambella in the 55.
Yes.
As you mentioned, as I can certainly bank that up, because I got done for it myself last year and got a 30-second time penalty on that blend line situation. So it's not blend line TV we're talking about there with regard to the officials. It's crossing the blend line. So that's a shame for Richard Howe. But fantastic drive, an amazing performance so far by Cam Bella. As I said, he's already come through the field. And also, look at the performance, if I may say, by Jamie Watson. We are looking on screen at the moment at a relative newcomer to the category, Andrew Goldman, who's got some real pressure from the beautiful bright green car of Josh Brisbane. Josh is one of the category sponsors there this time round. Had an issue yesterday as he dives around the outside at turn 1. Great move by Josh Brisbane in the number 56.
A really good move. In fact, threw it in there and did not lose any time whatsoever.
No.
Now on the way up to Carpenter, who had a good run yesterday, and see if he can tick those boxes. So Cam Bella now the fastest car on track. It was Jamie Westaway. There's Tony Westaway. Is
Jamie. Apologies, yes, Jamie running in the Tony Westaway car today. They had a clutch issue in the gold car yesterday, so he's come out this morning in his dad's usually running car, the bright yellow and black car. That is actually Jamie Westaway in the normally run car from Tony Westaway. So
Jamie's had a ripping start and then just gone and thrown it off into the dust.
Yeah.
Here's this pack again. Now this is where Jamie Westaway's just come back in front of. This is for 11, 12, 13. Here it is. Yeah. Oversteer.
Wow. Okay. A new car. He's at high speed there as he's gone through and gone right off wide on the track as we come past the gum tree out the back of the...
How do you do that, Dad? I've just busted the bumper off your race car.
Well, exactly. He did the clutch and the gearbox, and he is a multiple champion, Jamie Westaway, so he is no slouch in any car. And in fact, he's getting ready himself to run in the Bathurst 6 Hour in a couple of weeks with Andrew Jackman and Mark Torbitz, who is actually leading the race. So how's that for a combination that's going to be happening in a couple of weeks? You've got Jamie Westaway, Mark Torbitz and Andrew Jackman.
Right now, this is what Mark Torbitz wants. He wants these guys squabbling away for the minors so that they slow each other down and start to dice with each other. Chris Lewis-Williams just there in the Benalla Tyre Power entry. He's sort of in striking range, but at the moment, there's 7.5 minutes. Any one of these 4 cars can win the race. But have a look at Bella. He's going the long way around. Sets himself up for the inside, coming out of the S's and doing a ripping job for it there. So let's see where it all washes up. Right onto the back of Verdino.
Starting to attack Mark Verdino there. Yeah, he loves this place, Canberra. Currently has the fastest lap of the race with a 35.5. In fact, he's got the lap record at this place, Canberra, so he certainly knows how to win, and he will get some drive down this long back straight there, really trying to get the Vendetta under brakes, and I think he'll grab him. Actually, no. Mark holds it. It's so tight coming into the final corner as they head onto the long straight.
Let's stay here with Canberra and watch the master at work. We'll give him some silence to do it in. Oh, you can just see it. Sorry, silence.
Giving a wave to Mark. So, yeah, he's got him coming out of the final corner there, and he'll drag him all the way down this long straight, sitting around about 180 kilometres an hour as they go into that corner there. He'll turn it left, flick it right, then drive it up over the crest and drop it down just in front of Mark Verdino, and Ads Brewer there sitting back behind Verdino.
Interesting. Just watch Canberra just giving a bit of brake balance change there, coming up the hill onto the old main straight past the control tower or the commentary booth area here. Car off on the left there. Is that Lyndon Watson down heading into the sweeper there, just off the back of the shop there? I saw that car. Yeah,
that's a shame for Lyndon. He has left the track by the looks of him. There he is. He looks like he is okay. Sorry, it's Jimmy Mitchell by the looks of it. Jimmy Mitchell in the Martini livery car. Jimmy unfortunately had some issues yesterday as well, but that's a shame to see Jimmy Mitchell pulling over.
Apologies to Lyndon Watson there at that, but white car with blue detail on the side. Mistake can be making.
Very similar.
Made.
In the glistening Winton sunshine, absolutely. The backlight there, but...
Oh, he's underway again.
It looks like he's got it going, got it rolling, so that's good news for Jimmy Mitchell. They're all sliding off there. Maybe there's, I don't know, some greasy tyre situations going on there, or the heat of the tyres, but quite long races. We had a long race yesterday, and they're all trying to get the drive out of that back corner here at Winton. Here's the main corner as you come onto the front straight, and again, it's El Presidente, Mark Torbitz, Chris Lewis-Williams, but what a performance by Cameron Bella, up to third already.
Hey,
So,
Jack, you've raced
amazing.
these cars. What's your advice to Mark Torbitz right now? Don't worry about what's going on behind you. Just keep positioning the car up and down through the gearbox. But get the line, because look who's behind him. There's 8 championships weighing down on him right now.
Absolutely. It's probably not my place to give the president of the club some advice, I can tell you. But, yeah, look, Mark's a pretty cool customer. He's a very experienced campaigner. He's been racing this category for 10 years, and he's got the confidence now in this car. This car has been formerly run by Tim Wolfe in Western Australia, who has now moved up to the Porsche Michelin Sprint Challenge, which is the ladder, I guess, and this is, as you've said many, many times, Daz, it's the first serious stepping stone in the Porsche global category, really, from here up to Michelin Sprint, onto Carrera Cup, and then you're on to global Porsche campaigns like Matty Campbell. But Torbitz has now got the confidence. He's waited a long time, but he's got the confidence in that car. So, yes, he's got 8 title winners directly in his mirrors, which is no mean feat, if you don't mind.
And another one just a little bit further back, and Jamie Westaway, who's trying to recover.
Exactly. But what he said yesterday after his race win was he really just wanted to be calm and cool, and yes, check the mirrors, but just hit your apexes, get your braking points correct, drive the car out of corners, just keep it flowing, nothing crazy, and get it to the line. And with 3.5 minutes to go, he's really got some pressure, but he's just going to have to remain cool.
I tell you what, here's a couple of princes in waiting, aren't they? They're after the kingdom. Brewer looks at the inside of Bettino. A beautiful move for Ads Brewer. Wow, the AVI technology car slips up the inside of the Sidelink car, and that is a ripper. Gets it done, but he's not done here. The 44 looks to the inside. There's going to be another change, or there's going to be paint swaps.
Oh.
Either way around. The slide through the 3 gathers it all back up. The 44 gathers it all up. But wow, Ads Brewer wide now. He's going to have better flow here, but the 44 dances across the track in front of him and gathers it all back up. As I said, there's a couple of princes that want the kingdom here. They've got their swords out, haven't they?
Absolutely. You've got the Black Widow Spider, number 3, against the Vendetta, Mark Verdino. Mark's really doing very, very well in this category now. He's lifted his game from it was already a good level, but he had a race win last year. He was bitterly disappointed after round 1 at Sandown, where he was leading the race, but he clouded the wall at turn 4, tore off the right rear of the car, so he wants the points this round.
Let's watch this. Let's just give them the airtime.
Absolutely. This, by the looks of it, is the master at work. This is Cam Balla as he now heads round the back of the circuit. He's currently in 3rd gear there. He may just grab 4th. There he goes, into 4th gear there now. It's hard on the brakes, back to 3rd. He'll turn it left, flick it out of this corner. He wants the ripple strip on the right. You grab a little bit of that, and he's slipping in behind the car in front of him because he wants the slipstream. Bang, down into 4th gear there. So the majority of this circuit is 3rd and 4th. Moves to the left, back to 3rd. He wants to get the drive out of this corner because this is the corner which is going to lead on to the long front straight, and this is where he's going to get the slipstream and nail these guys in front.
I do love Chris Lewis-Williams covering him off there. He stayed right over to the right-hand side, and there at the very last minute moved over. Here we go again. Lewis-Williams looks over to the left-hand side. That's the ultimate race line. He's obviously confident, but gee, coming out to that last set of corners, CLW had him well and truly covered off here.
Baron of Benalla there, Chris Lewis-Williams, definitely knows how to make that car very, very wide.
See that bias adjustment he does coming onto the on the top of the straight there, just reaches up on the dash and gives it half a turn.
Absolutely. He's fairly hard on the brakes as he hits that corner there, so he will adjust the brake bias in this car. You can definitely adjust the brake bias left, front and rear. So
I do like the way the director went away from the in-car, so he doesn't give away all his in-car secrets as he's tuning the car on the lap. So we were on for the tuning up there, but definitely he's working that brake bias, that's for sure.
Yeah, and how close is the racing just behind there, Daz, with the Sidelink car of Mark Verdino under real pressure from Adam Brewer. Adam Brewer wants to bank these points, we keep saying it, but he's definitely a contender this year, Adam Brewer. He's got plenty of pace in that car, but there's no shortage of pace from Mark Verdino either. And with probably 1 or 2, maybe 1 or 2 laps to go, this is a real fight because these two guys want to make sure that the top front runners do not get away.
Ads Brewer just hangs on, no iteration for a spot change there, but it was coming up to this next corner where he had the big lunge at it, and car number 3 certainly did very well. But wow, that drive off the number 44 coming around in the Sidelink car. He's getting power down this time. Ads Brewer closes up, just that little short shoot. He's also getting the power down nicely. So 2 very finely matched contenders here. And just up the road, we're seeing the lead of the race. Bella right into the back of Chris Lewis-Williams now. This is the 44 on the 3. They're both nearly swapped paint last time around. Just being told 2 laps to go for the Porsche 944s.
Right, and it is getting serious at the front, I can tell you. With 2 laps to go, they are nose to tail. You've got Mark Torbert's El Presidente in the bright yellow Pipecraft car just ahead of the Baron of Benalla, Chris Lewis-Williams, and the 4-time champion Cam Bella. And looking back at these 2 guys who are in an absolute dogfight.
Here we go again.
And
Bella on board. That is reigning champion Chris Lewis-Williams. Feigns to the inside. The famous Winton manoeuvre at the water tank. Feign to the inside there. All that's done is given Bella all the room he needs. Was that a nudge?
Maybe.
Did he give him a bit of come on? CLW, let me at that yellow car. Nah, it wasn't. It would have been probably indicator lens on the road if that was the case. But that was very, very close. On board the Don Watson camera. And... that's it.
No, wow.
He's thrown it all away. Cambella, the big ask at the front end of the car. It's understeered. Now he has to work very, very hard again.
Gee.
So Richard Howe has got that 15 seconds hanging over his head. And sadly for him, that's going to drop him right outside the top 10 at the moment.
Yeah.
This is our race leader. There he goes. That's Mark Torberts with Chris Lewis-Williams. They'll come around and it'll be on the final lap now. And I tell you what, Mark Torberts, here we go. This was 4-time champion Cambella, tips it in at the corner. Oh, and that was it. A little bit of a compression lockup, I think that was, with the way the car vibrated ever so slightly there. So we won't see it again because this is happening all at the front. Yep. Mark Torberts poised, 2 for 2. I did say to him this morning, mate, this opens up the floodgates now. You win them all from here on in.
Big crash. Big incident there. By the looks of it, off the track. Sorry to interrupt us.
Matty Benazelma. And that is Josh Brisbane parked up there. Let's get back at the front. This is where it's really at now. The driver of car number 66, Mark Torberts, in Tim Fox's car. Let's hope Tim's out of bed. Be early rides for Tim over in WA to see this race this morning and get on with it. I dare say he has been. Chris Lewis-Williams celebrating his championship last year with a new livery on the Tyre Power Benalla car. And Cam Bella all but threw it away last lap round, coming down to this corner we're heading into now, which I'm going to say was a compression lockup, but
might have been.
It's interestingly enough that we'll see what happens. Here we go. CLW, look at Torberts. He's holding the middle of the track. He's allowed to put the car wherever he wants at this point in time. CLW, no. Was going to try and do that kind of threshold of braking slide lock-up manoeuvre into the corner there. Sees best of it, and I would say CLW probably went, yeah, I really don't want to dig up Mark today. Not yet, maybe in the last race of the day. And he gets it. Mark Torberts, 2 from 2. Chris Lewis-Williams into position 2. And Cam Bella works hard to get through to position number 3. Mark Verdino ultimately beats home as Brewer in what was the thrilling part of race number 2.
Yeah, fantastic drive there by El Presidente in the bright yellow Pipecraft car. And he's getting the applause from the 4-time champion, from Chris Lewis-Williams, as they go past the commentary box here. What a performance by Cameron Bella there, though, to get up to 3rd. That's a sensational performance. Mark Verdino, as you mentioned there, Daz, the Vendetta just holding off the Black Widow Spider of Adam Brewer. Lyndon Watson got home there in 6th, which is great to see. And he was home ahead of Michael Westaway, King Richard Howe, Nick Carpenter again. Another fantastic performance from Nick, who's new to the category and doing really, really well at Winton this weekend. Andrew Goldman, we believe, has made it home just... They're still coming across the line, I should mention. Sorry, we're looking at timing screens here at the moment, but Andy Goldman has come home in the top 10 result for Andy, which is fantastic.
John Venoris just off the lead lap there, and then the DNFs there, Manny Menazelma, Josh Brisbane, sadly, Jamie Westaway and Mitchell there as well. There's the results. Take a photo of that if you're friends of Mark Torben or friends and family. Another race win, race 2 over Chris Lewis-Williams and Cam Bella. The interesting thing was Chris Lewis-Williams ranging up beside Mark after the race with a round of applause from the driver's seat, and then he dropped back and gave Cam Bella a round of applause as well. So full respect there. That's the measure of the man. He's just letting everyone know around them. Really appreciated that. That was a great race.
Yeah, sensational, and a lot of respect with all the drivers here, but great to see Mark Torberts. Wow, he's taken one victory. Well, I'll just grab another one as well. So really getting the confidence now in that car, and it's fantastic to see. He's been in the game a long time. Running through the results, as we mentioned there, Torberts, Lewis-Williams, Bella, Mark Verdino, Adam Brewer, Lyndon Watson, Michael Westerway, King Richard Howe, Nick Carpenter, Andrew Goldman has rounded out the top 10, and that'll be effectively the results from that race. As we mentioned there, we had some DNFs. Unfortunately, Joshy Brisbane. Look out for the green car of Cameron Bella, number 55, as the guys head off on race 3 here at Winton Motor Raceway.
Charging down into turn 1. Everyone looks... Don't stare at it. Torbets looks to the outside, but it'll be CLW. The reigning champion will lead the cars up the hill for the first time. Torbets goes with him. He's going to have to go around the outside, and the biggest problem is that Bella's going to take the real estate from him. No, he's not. Mark Torbets. He has found his level. He's going to go wide. Lewis Williams says, there's no way we can go 2 through here. And Torbet says, I agree, but I'll get you at the next one. Bella now ranging in the mirrors of these two, as well as Chris Lewis Williams leads the race to the sweeper for the first time in this, the longer race for the weekend. 25-minute journey.
The Baron of Benalla, number 37, Chris Lewis Williams in the tyre power car there, just ahead of the race winner from this morning. Mark Torbets really pushing hard in that yellow Pipecraft car. Cam Balla, the 4-time champion, is right on the bumper as well. And here comes Verdino and the Black Widow Spider, number 3 of Adam Brewer. Very exciting driver, looking to grab some points this weekend. And he's ahead just of Lyndon Watson, who's had a great start as well. It's always close racing in 944 championships, and this race looks to be no exception.
Great to see Lyndon Watson hanging with the lead group here. Bella just goes for the fog lights because there's fog imminent. We've had indications from air traffic control that it's fog lights on landing today.
Look out.
There you go. Watch out, Cam Bella. When he goes for the fog lights, that means something. And I'm not sure that everyone else's fog lights are working, but he's just proving that he can go over the roadworthy pit and have fog lights working. Or is he low flying? That's probably more likely.
He may well be low fly. He's got the eyes on, that is for sure, because he wants to just jag one of his wins here. He has been unbeaten since 2019 at this track, Cameron Bella, apart from yesterday. And this morning, when, as we've mentioned a number of times, Mark Torbets took victories in both of those races. So it's been a fantastic weekend for Torbets. Chris Lewis Williams there, the 4-time champion and the reigning champion, leading the race at the moment, knows this circuit very, very well, and is a local guy. Comes from the Benalla region, so knows this circuit very well, and makes his car very, very wide at times, Daz, as you have mentioned
Mark
many
Torbets,
times.
good on him. The 66 shows the nose. Do it again next lap, Mark, because that is what you've got to do to these guys that have got 4 championships. You've got to show it there, and he knows how to win races now. Whoa, look at Mark Verdino.
Tell you
no
what,
level of commitment these guys do not know. I said it just before we went on air. Some of the best racing we've seen in the last 2 years in the state championships have been 944s, and here we go. A couple of minutes later, we're seeing it live and trackside here at Winton Motor Raceway.
qualifying yesterday morning was separated for the top 6 by less than a second. So you can see how close this racing is, and it's like this every time we go out and hit the track. It's fantastic, but it's a one-make category, and you're going to get this in one-make category because these guys are experienced race car drivers. You've got a 4-time champion leading the field. You've got the president, El Presidente, who's been in the game for 10 years and a race winner himself, right on his bumper. Cam Bella needs no introduction. Mark Verdino, a race winner last year, and Adam Brewer, also a race winner last year. So that just shows how close this field has become.
Mark Verdino there in the side link car. Just off the back of him is Adam Brewer. Just off the back there is Lyndon Watson in the Don Watson transport car. We saw a great interview with Lyndon earlier on. He enjoys his racing. He's returned to the category and just wanted to throw in some support, and that is where a lot of it's coming from this season. Of course, we've seen Joey Callock with the 1-800 lasagna support right throughout the last couple of seasons. The AVI technology, Mark Brewer has always been there. As we see Mark Torbets in the 66 show the nose again. The LK Diesel Services, 888 Home Loans with Cam McKinnon, and of course the great people down there at Pit Lane Clothing that keep the crews looking really, really good. Of course in Formula Ford as well, they've now got their full Pit Lane Clothing merchandise available as well. Check that out at the Formula Ford website as we go down into this tricky corner. Chris Lewis Williams has got a nice margin now. Have a look at Bella. He is all over the back of Mark Torbets. Mark Torbets so enjoying having a car with the right amount of horsepower to be able to take this battle up, isn't he?
Yeah, and you're so busy at this track, aren't you, Daz? I mean, you're always busy at Winton. You can see how close and how tight Cam Bella is on the bumper there of Mark Torbets, but it's the nature of this circuit. It's tight and twisty. It's third and fourth gear. You're always busy. You're always doing something. There's not a lot of time to rest. And in a hot afternoon, you're going to be feeling the heat, that's for sure.
I know, mate. They're very busy. I've called them a 22nd race for the weekend. Still got a couple more to go. It's a busy track.
They are not the only ones
that are
busy in Benalla, that is for sure. But you've really got to keep your concentration up. And as Mark Verdino, the number 44, decides, that's it, I'm going to make a move. And that is a courageous move.
Wow.
Under Cameron Bella going into turn 3, turn 4 as they slide down the hill. He'll now head towards the sweeper. You've really got to ease your car and flow the car through this sweeping section of the track. It's a tricky section. Winton, is quite a tricky track all round, but you've got to flow the car because you've got to keep the mid-corner speed up in these cars. They're not point and shoot. You've very much got to flow the car, and especially at a circuit like Winton, which is just one corner after another.
Well done to the pro-led side link racer there. Mark Verdino getting through on the 55. And have a look at this. Ads Brewer lines him up too. The number 3 wants that spot, so he wants out of P5 into P4. And, well, at the moment, I said it yesterday, Cam Bella has got every single car in this field, he's in their sights. He's in the crosshairs no matter what way he turns, left or right. He's got the target on his back. At the moment, Chris Lewis-Williams has shaken off the field a little bit, so he's sort of managing to get away with it. But the 44 went through on the 55 very, very nicely indeed. And even as that manoeuvre was being done, Cam Bella just eased up the steering wheel and went, yeah, I can't defend that. I'll have to just let the 44 through. I don't want us to come together. There's no advantage in anyone hitting each other. Whoa, have a look at this. Torbs looks to the inside.
And on top of looking at the inside, he's come up with the fastest lap of the race there, Mark Torbets, with a 1:36.9. That's good going. That's pretty quick pace in these hot conditions. He's really wanting to attack Chris Lewis-Williams there up the front. You can see all these guys are so close. Their lap times are virtually identical. 1:37, 1:37, 1:37.
Something we touched on earlier this morning was Mark Torbets and his heavy metal band, his heavy metal band, I think I said.
Yeah.
Coffin Carousel, Order of the Bat, the new LP is out now. And I read that directly off his entry form. That's who's entered. Coffin Carousel, Order of the Bat, LP, out now. So this guy won 2 races. He's entertained us. If you're into heavy metal and you like it loud, go out and check out. Do yourself a favour, I think Molly Meldrum used to say, didn't he? Get out there and check out Coffin Carousel, Order of the Bat, LP.
So you can pick up some fantastic music, and you can pick up, you can shake the hand of a race-winning driver as well. Look how close this racing is going into the back section at Winton there. Verdino just holding off Cam Bella. But yeah, he's a multi-talented man, Mark Torbets, that's for sure. He can go out and drive a 944 challenge car against some of the best Porsche race car drivers in Australia, win the race, and then go home and play some heavy metal music.
This is
as
very, very tight. Look at Bella. Whoa. He shows the nose around the outside. That's the long way around. He's going to do it too.
Yep.
Ads Brewer lines up for the rundown into turn 1-2 here. So the 44 has been taken by the 55, and now Ads Brewer in car number 3 weighs into it. Not quite up the inside there, but there is the brilliance of Cameron Bella. He picked the spot, drew alongside the 44 and said, yeah, a lap and a half ago, I eased up on the wheel and let you through because I knew I was going to fight back. I, as in Cameron Bella, have got a set of tyres that I have got matched perfect and pressured beautiful to come on mid-race.
Well, he has. He's a very experienced campaigner, no doubt about it. Cam Bella. He had some gearbox issues over the weekend. As we mentioned yesterday, Cam Bella did the whole race in 4th gear and managed to bring it home just to bank the points because it's so important.
I want the in-car footage of that.
In this one-make category. He was complaining how slow he was. He actually came up with a 1:38. Just in 4th gear. That shows you the skill of the guy.
I tell you, at the end of the season, when there's 1 point in it, he'll be glad that he
without a doubt
drove it around.
And if you look at a Jamie Westaway, who unfortunately has had a tough weekend, coming off 3 race wins last time at Sandown, the points are very important. And speaking of points, have a look at these 2 guys going at it. This is Goldman and Carpenter. Relatively, in fact, both very new to the category. really great to see these guys out there challenging hard and fighting for every last point in this race. And of course, you've got Johnny Venoris, who's weighing in on this as well, the number 32. Great to see Johnny back out on track. We're missing a few guys, unfortunately, for this race. King Richard Howe had some issues. Matty Mezza-Selma, Josh Brisbane had it coming together in race 2. Jamie Westaway, we mentioned, and Jimmy Mitchell couldn't quite make it out there. But look how close the racing is right throughout the field.
Here we go. The 888 home loans. This is Brewer and Verdino. Yep. There goes Brewer up the inside in the 40, in the number 3 on the 44.
Good move.
So the 44 was in the hunt and has just had the short back and sides from Ads Brewer and Cambella, but fights back.
Oh, yep.
And let's have a look at the next corner, because he would have been on the inside as we get a good shot of the number 3 there of Ads Brewer. And he has got the 44 behind him. Oh, have a look at this. How tasty do you want your 944 racing? Mark Torbets again showing the nose.
And he's through.
I hope he's not a one-trick pony. You've got to come up with something more than that, Torbs. You can't just keep showing the nose there. Do it somewhere else.
This is fantastic racing here. And this is the front. This is for the race lead. So
with 9 minutes left to go, so we've got to endure this for some time.
We'll be out of breath by the time this one's over, Daz. Don't worry about that. But how close do you like your 944 racing? This is the top 3 guys. And just touching back quickly on that move by Adam Brewer, looked like Verdino may be having some tyre issues there, sliding it around the back section of Winton, but Ads Brewer, very experienced campaigner, nabs that spot. And now he's moved into the 4th position, again behind the 4-time champion, Chris Lewis-Williams, who leads the field. Very, very cool, calm and collected customer over Mark Torbets, El Presidente, who's having probably, dare I say it, his best weekend for quite some time with 2 race wins and currently sitting in 2nd. And of course, Cambella, who is really recouping some points or banking some points, I guess you'd call it, just to make sure that he's there at the pointy end of the championship as we head towards the future races.
So Mark Torbets got the yellow car here this weekend. He does have a bit of a secret yellow car in his shed at home too, which is one of Australian Motorsport's really sweet rigs. I hope he gets that out at some point in time. But yellow has been a good colour for him here this weekend. The sweet tone of yellow victory has been with him. There we have Cambella.
Oh, wow. Now,
and Torbs goes round.
He's gone.
So excited. The 66 goes round. Mark Torbets engages the gear. Oh, he stalled it there. Oh, John Menoris has gone off right in front of us.
This has gone bonkers.
It has. It's lit up towards, well, we're only mid-race still. 7 minutes left to go in this, and it's all busted loose. Lucky for us that it is not panel damage in any way, shape or form. Mark Torbets, I would suggest, might have been a little bit of a rush of blood, got onto the gas early, but to Cambella's, to his credit, he applied the pressure, and here we go. This is it. He's applying the pressure. He's applying the pressure. More. Keep applying it, and there it is. Tried to get on the gas.
Did Cambella touch him? No, he didn't. No, exactly. So, no, Cambella is not going to...
Cambella's not a guy that will give you the touch-up.
Exactly, but... no, this has gone crazier than a coffin carousel album, hasn't it, Daz? This round, by the looks of it, this race. A real shame to see Mark Torbets falling away a bit there. He will be absolutely ruining that because he was on for a really amazing weekend. But, I mean, that's 944 racing. You need to keep your concentration. You need to finish each race. You need to bank the points. And, again, it falls back to the experienced campaigners who are leading this race. And it's why they're multiple champions.
This is down the field a little bit. This is for the minors. And these guys have been racing for sheep stations as well this weekend. Goldman, Venoris has gone round and has parked it. It hasn't actually parked it, has continued somewhere on the track, but went round on the main straight as we have Carpenter and Goldman. They're down into turn 3. Goldman in the 333 car there, the carpet shed.
Yeah, fantastic to see Andrew Goldman there. That car has actually come out of Tasmania, so you can see that it is a national series. And Mark Torbets, who's running up the front, or was running up the front a second ago, is running a car from Western Australia. This is absolutely a national series, but that car of Andrew Goldman came out of Tasmania about a month ago, so they've rebuilt that car and it's sensational to see it running out on track. And a very big shout out to Nick Carpenter, who's making his debut this weekend and really holding his own. And he's banking a lot of points. But it's a very interesting point, Daz, just quickly I'll touch on there, as Cam Bella now really sits on the back of Chris Lewis-Williams as they head towards the line there. This is an interesting tale for all these guys. They don't just do 944 racing. Chris Lewis-Williams, who's leading the race, just ahead of Cam Bella. Cam Bella, Adam Brewer and Manny Mezzaselma will share a car at the Bathurst 6 Hour in a few weeks. And Mark Torbitz, Jamie Westaway and Andrew Jackman will also share a car in the Bathurst 6 Hour endurance event in a couple of weeks as well. So these guys love racing. They love getting out behind any car, and any race is a challenge, let alone any time you head towards the mountain.
Tell you what, this is a good bit of door handle to door handle, nose to tail type racing to get you ready for what is, I think, about 66 cars or 68 cars that will line up at Mount Panorama as well. So you're going to be nose to tail for an entire 6 hour event. These guys are pouring on the pressure. You probably don't get as intense in the 6 hour as you do right here, right now, but it will be intense because it's Mount Panorama and those walls are very, very close right across the top of that mountain.
I can ascertain to that fact that is absolutely correct, but you're right, Daz. This is more short and sharp and hard and fast. And there is no let up and there is no inches given and no quarter given between any of these guys. But they know the game plans pretty well as well. Having said that, Chris Lewis-Williams, the Baron of Manila, and of course Cam Bella have raced for a number of years and they know each other's game plans. And dare I say it, I reckon Cam Bella is lining him up here. He is looking at what Chris is doing, and you've got the experienced Adam Brewer just sitting off the back of the top two there as well, ready to pounce. He would love a race win, that's for sure. Mark Verdino, the Vendetta, not falling away either. So top four guys, very, very close racing, as we say. It's like this every time we go out. Literally just 0.2 of a second from Lewis-Williams over Bella. Brewer just half a second back in third spot.
Mark Verdino just in the 44 there off the back of Ads Brewer. And, well, this is kind of 2023, isn't it? Earlier today and late yesterday, Mark Torbitz was weighing in on it. But this is sort of how we saw out the season in 2023, isn't it?
Exactly, and the top two guys there, again, I harp on it, but Lewis-Williams and Bella both have 4 titles between them. No one in the history of the Porsche 944 Challenge Series, and this is our 24th year of running, no one has ever done 5 titles. So it's an important race, this one. It's actually becoming more and more important because whoever can bank the points from this one, as you say, Daz...
bragging rights.
Well, bragging rights, and it can come into play.
Bragging rights.
It's not only bragging, they love bragging rights, that's for sure, don't worry.
Bragging rights.
There's plenty of banter.
Bragging rights, rivalry. This is what these are the words I'm starting to come to my mind with these two at the moment.
No,
banter.
Definitely as well. And full marks to the Bella Corporation, I would say, for getting that.
Bella Corp.
For
Keep
getting...
an eye on the ASX for it.
I don't think it's listed, but it should be.
It should be.
Because the share price is going up in the Bella Corporation at the moment because they have done a sensational job this weekend to get that car back out on track, and look at him really hunting down the leader there. So the Bella Corporation should be very proud of themselves.
You can see CLW feeling the weight of expectation of the Bella Corp. Sorry,
Bella Corp.
let's gather our thoughts here for a moment, Jack Hatley, and this is a pretty serious stuff. We have got 1 minute and 40 seconds remaining on the time certain clock, and this race is alive and well. 8 championships sitting on our screen there right now.
Yep.
The only person in Australia to get 5 Porsche championships is Craig Baird.
Correct.
And if one of these gets this championship, I reckon we bring in Beardo to give him the season, the championship trophy.
That's a fantastic idea. Well, Craig Baird is Porsche royalty. Yeah. Without a doubt.
5 Carrera Cup titles. Yeah. It's on the pyramid. It's thereabouts.
So we could get the king of Porsche royalty to present the cup to either the Baron of Benalla
or the chairman of Bella Corp.
Or the chairman of Bella Corporation. I think that's a great plan. So
it's getting late in the afternoon, isn't it, for you and I?
It is getting late in the afternoon, and also we haven't quite finished this race yet, and we haven't finished the championship season either. So there's a long championship. There's many more races we visit.
Yeah, and let me tell you, the guy that's gone...
Verdino. He's gone.
44 off. The side link pro-led entry disappears off Mark Verdino. Momentary lapse in reason right there. Torbs has fought back to position number 7, and in fact, he's the fastest car on track with a 1:32.86.
That is quick.
Isn't it?
1:32.86.
That's stratospherically quick. Did he cut a corner somewhere?
That's lap record pace. If
That's entirely lap record pace, that is.
That is correct. That is come up on our screen as a 1:32.8. I'm not sure if that's 100% correct, but let's go with it because if it is, that is a new lap record.
Absolutely. It smashed it from Vince Misaraka back in 2017 did that. I don't think we've seen Misaraka come out of COVID racing. That is insane. Here we go. 2 laps to go. 888 home loans replay. And that was just a bit of a brain fade, I think, down there.
I guess I'll say a couple of things quickly there, Does. Yeah, his tyres potentially going off. It's locked the rears. He has had some brake issues with that car previously. So, yeah, you're hard on the brakes there. Tyres are now getting really, really hot on a hot afternoon here at Winton. So, coming into the final lap there, the car is probably going to cry enough. So, he's waiting. Speaking of crying enough and tyres, there you go. Chris Lewis-Williams really pushing hard. He knows he's got these guys right on his bumper with a lap or so to go, but this is where you really have taken the most out of your tyres for this race. And on a hot, twisty weekend, hot, twisty track, I should say, at Winton, you can't afford to slide the car too much. And these guys don't really slide the car a great deal. They're very controlled drivers, a lot of them, but at the same time, with the amount of pressure he's got on his bumper there from Canberra, Chris Lewis-Williams does not want to lose this race, and this will be one of Chris's first wins at Benalla for a while. I believe he got a couple of 3rd or 4ths last year, so he'll be happy with this, and he'll be very excited to take this win.
Just a little bit of a public service announcement. There is a speed camera 15 minutes south on the way to Melbourne from the track. So those going home, not that we'll be speeding in any way, shape or form, but just keep an eye out for a white SUV.
Exactly. Keep your speeding on the track, please.
That's what we're here for.
If you're going to be doing speeding, make sure it's on the racetrack, not on the road.
Have a look at this. I almost don't want this round to be over for 944s. This has just been some absolutely immense racing. One of the back markers just slowly there on the sweeper, staying off the line as much as possible.
Johnny Venoris.
And we are heading to the checkered flag for Don Watson Transport and Cold Stores, that absolute purpose-built facility down there in Swan Avenue in Laverton North or Derrimut, whatever that exact area is. I think it's Laverton North. Saw it the other day. It is immense and very impressive. And if you've got any freight or cold storage you need, get onto Don Watson Transport. They are the leaders.
Yeah, and speaking of leaders, how close do you like your 944 Challenge Series racing? What a fantastic effort by all the drivers, especially the top 3. It's going to go down to the wire, but by the looks of it, the Baron of Benalla, Chris Lewis-Williams, is going to hold off Cameron Bella, who will come home, I'd imagine, in second place. 1 or 2 corners to go there, Daz, with Ads Brewer, a very, very respectable 3rd place in the number 3 AVI
I'll tell you what's
technology
going to be
car.
interesting to see how the points balance weighs up.
Yeah.
With Torb putting 2. CLW's got himself a couple of second places and now lines himself up for a win. And there it is, across the line they go. Chris Lewis-Williams takes the win by 0.2 of a second over Cam Bella and 0.6 of a second back to Ads Brewer. And the rest of the field starting to stream to the line. Great respect between these two. Thumbs up between both of them. And in fact, I think Cam Bella was giving the "I'll have 2 pots, thank you very much" Chris Lewis-Williams signal.
Well, maybe he's saying 2 or 3 more races and we're both staring down the barrel of who's going to grab that 5th championship. I'm sure that's
I tell you
what they were
what,
talking
we've
about.
got a new contender with Mark Torbert's 2 race wins.
El Presidente.
And look, Ads Brewer is still in there, and I tell you what, Mark Verdino. Ads Brewer, Mark Verdino, Mark Torberts, they're all in for a race win before that. Another race win for Torb, but those other 2, Brewer and Verdino, absolutely at any point in time. Lyndon Watson had great pace. You know, I'm just going to put it out there.
Yeah, no, well, I mean, why wouldn't you? It's remarkable.
Well, I'm feeling really comfortable in my pit lane clothing T-shirt. I just thought I'd put it out there.
Excellent. Well, that's what it's designed to move, to make you feel comfortable. And running, speaking of comfortable, a comfortable win by 0.2 of a second, but a fantastic win, just running through the results there. The Baron of Benalla, Chris Lewis-Williams, number 37, takes the win over Cameron Bella. Fantastic performance by the Bella Corporation. Adam Brewer, the Black Widow Spider, home in 3rd. Mark Verdino, good points for good points for Mark, home in 4th in the number 44. Lyndon Watson brought it home in 5th in the number 5 car. Michael Westaway. Great to see Michael completing the weekend in 6th place. Good results and good round for Michael Westaway, actually. He did well. Mark Torbitts had an issue, unfortunately had a spin, but brought it home in 7. Nick Carpenter on debut, sensational performance in 8th. Andy Goldman in the 333 car. So that's great to see Andrew Goldman coming home in 9th. And Johnny Venoris rounded out the field for race 3 of round 2 of the Porsche 944 category. We will be looking forward to seeing you at the next round.